Listen carefully, because I'm going to tell you what is about to happen.
The Chosen captured a powerful moment that felt unreal.
Hearing myself say them, I don't feel worthy to be saying them.
Jonathan Roumie broke down as emotions ran high on set.
How did I do? Wow. Did I get it close?
The Chosen has become a major hit, bringing biblical figures to life. As the series continues to grow in popularity, Jonathan Roumie's role as Jesus has captured our hearts.
I got to the point where I was completely out of money. I was massively in debt. I was out of food, and I didn't know what else to do than to just, drop to my knees in prayer. And
before the show, Jonathan was at an all-time low. He had no job, was buried in debt, and didn't know what to do next. He turned to prayer and gave his life and career to God. Shortly after, things started to change. He received financial help and got the opportunity to star as Jesus in the Catholic series.
The moment I let go of the control that I had imposed upon myself, imposed upon my career, to try to be responsible for everything that took place, for everything that happened, the moment I let go of that and I gave it over to God, that's when things turned around, like that very day, in a very dramatic way. And then a few months later, I booked The Chosen, and here we are 5 seasons later.
From the start, he felt the weight of what he was taking on. Being cast as Jesus was not like any other historical figure. It meant stepping into the role of the most important person in human history. He felt pressured knowing that millions of people would be impacted by his performance.
I shouldn't be doing this. This feels wrong. And so I would have those feelings, and then, we would stop and then move on to the next setup and put the camera in a different place. And then as it went on, I just had to stop.
During one of the most emotional moments of filming, he opened up about his deep connection to the role and how much it affected him personally.
Hearing the crowd chanting Hosanna to the Son of David in the distance as we approached the city gates, the first time hearing it was just arresting. I completely was overwhelmed.
One of the major struggles he faced was emotional exhaustion. In scenes like the healing of the leper, the woman at the well, and especially the Garden of Gethsemane, he had to dig deep emotionally. He had to feel the pain, the love, and the burden that Jesus carried.
There was a lot of preparation for 2 of the seminal scenes, which were the Last Supper, obviously, and then the Garden of Gethsemane. And when you see those in Scripture and think, I got to portray these somehow with some sort of authenticity and impact, and I don't quite know what I'm going to do, it can be a little bit daunting.
These scenes were difficult because he tried to fully embody the suffering and compassion of Christ.
I was starting to feel panicked and overwhelmed, almost like I've only had one panic attack in my life, and it started to feel like it was creeping into that, and I didn't know why, or how. Well, I kind of knew. I thought I knew why, and what was going on.
Jonathan prayed constantly on set. He would go to daily mass before filming just to have the spiritual strength to get through it. Other days, he would sit quietly for long periods and reflect.
We started filming, and then as I was going through these words, I suddenly, it's like I kind of felt I was outside of myself, listening to myself preach to a crowd outside the doors of in our story, Zebedee, James and John's father, Zebedee's house.
During the filming of a particular scene, something extraordinary happened that left him visibly moved.
Next thing I know, I get these massive pains, just shooting up into my ear, and I'm like, it's just anxiety. It's like, at one point I had heart palpitations. I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't know what's happening, but I'm just, and I texted my spiritual director, who's in the other room.
One of the most important aspects of The Chosen is its attempt to humanize Jesus. The show seeks to explore the personal side of Christ, his emotions, his struggles, and his relationships with the people around him.
So we're showing the humanity in a way that nobody's ever really been able to do before, because nobody's taken, the long form version of storytelling in a TV show to do that. And so we have the luxury of time to be able to get into that and explore that.
As Jonathan immersed himself in this version of Jesus, something began to change within him. He found himself praying more, reflecting on his own faith in a more intimate way. It felt like a spiritual calling to him.
It's been life-changing. It's been career-changing. It's been the greatest gift that I've been given, as not only as an actor, but as a person, as a man of faith myself. It's led me deeper into my own faith.
Behind the camera, his connection to the role and the emotional impact it has had on him during filming has been deeply moving. Some fans took things further by comparing him to Jesus, blurring the line between the actor and his role.
I've had people ask me to, it runs the gamut, to baptize their children, to perform, to be their confirmation sponsor. I've been asked to marry couples.
Really?
I've even been offered marriage proposals.
Over the seasons, he has opened up about the emotional impact the role has had on him.
I'm saying these words, and hearing them, hearing myself say them, I don't feel worthy to be saying them.
He began to experience moments where his portrayal of Jesus felt divinely inspired. In interviews, Jonathan has shared how it has impacted his personal prayer life.
I've grown deeper in my faith. It's drawn me closer to the church, to want to know more about the aspects of the church that I didn't necessarily grow up learning, you know.
He found himself praying more deeply, reflecting more on the meaning of Christ's sacrifice, and seeking to live a life that aligns with the values he's portraying on screen.
It made me want to know and experience, you know, how to be just a better person on the day-to-day. How can I better, you know, be a better friend, be a better just stranger to people that I meet that need my help or whatever it is. And
he also spoke about the way The Chosen has affected his interactions with others. He has become more compassionate, empathetic, and sensitive to the struggles of those around him. The role has made him more aware of the importance of humility and love in everyday life.
That's going to be personally exhausting, but I imagine spiritual attack and spiritually exhausting.
Yeah, I'm just kind of coming out of this experience, so I don't want to complain too much, but I'm honestly exhausted.
There were moments he questioned whether he was good enough for the role. He admitted he had to rely heavily on prayer, confession, and spiritual direction just to stay grounded. He stayed in a constant state of prayer and reflection to keep the right spirit for the character.
The next time I see this place, I will have completed the Last Supper in the Garden of Gethsemane. And I was overwhelmed with emotion. I was like...
He shared how the role changed the way he views suffering. Playing out Jesus' pain, betrayal, and sacrifice made him more aware of his own weaknesses, and it also forced him to confront his own pride, fears, and failures. Carrying that emotional and spiritual weight day after day was exhausting, but he found it to be the greatest gift of his life.
you know, obviously season 6 is what's in front of me, and that's going to be, you know, season six revolves around that crucifixion, and that is going to be for sure the most physically, if not emotionally, challenging scene that we've done so far.
He also talked about how the role has helped him grow spiritually and change the way he sees life and his faith. What do you think about Jonathan's role as Jesus? Let us know in the comments section below.